Hey gang, how's it going? How are ya? Eric here. And no, you aren't going crazy. I am a day late at getting up this video, but there is logic behind it, believe it or not. Today is Thursday, September 22nd, and for those longtime followers that have been following me pretty much from the beginning of my journey, know that the 22nd is a special day. Today is my 3-month surgiversary. That's right, 3 months post-op vertical sleeve gastrectomy. Woohoo! Yeah! Yes, I've survived 3 months of post-vertical sleeve gastrectomy surgery. And there's a lot less of me around now, luckily. So let's get to the numbers, and pretty much today is going to be math day because I figured I would do like a little recap of where I'm at, where I was, where I'm going. So for anybody who might be a newer subscriber or just finding out about me or stumbles across this video, run, run! No, just kidding. All right, so here I was back in January of 2011. And I was tipping the scales at a whopping 462 pounds. And I was pretty unhealthy. I had some comorbidities, sleep apnea and high blood pressure, which I was taking medication for, bouts of Achilles tendonitis, and, joint pain, difficulty getting exercise, very winded, short of breath, from doing virtually nothing but even walking around or going up my own stairs. Sad to say. But anyway, so that's where I started at. 462 pounds back in January. I lost 61 pounds prior to surgery. So I had my surgery on June 22nd, 2011. At that time, I weighed 400 pounds. So that was my starting weight. Today, I am now 354.2 pounds. I lost another 2.2 pounds this past week, which seems to be my average. I seem to be doing between 2 to 3 pounds every single week. So definitely slow but steady. So even though I was a little frustrated at first, comparing this to my first half, I'm still not entirely sure why my weight loss prior to surgery seemed to be a lot quicker than post-surgery, because calorie-wise, I seem to be, right in the same ballpark. I've been very careful about what I eat. I've been still, intentionally avoiding carbs, but getting some, coincidentally, kind of, if I happen to have a meal that has a pasta in it or something, I do eat some of it. I just don't, when I fix my own plate or do my own cooking, I don't intentionally fix a carb anymore. So no more scoop of potato, scoop of rice, or, macaroni or something like that to fill my plate. I focus on my protein and my vegetables and just let carbs happen kind of, naturally. So if I get some carbs from a wrap in a sandwich or whatever, I'm not freaking out over carbs and going like 100% anti-carbs. It's just that I'm being a lot more careful because I am a believer that, processed foods and processed carbohydrates, and those sort of things are just not what my body needs. And, some people are of the belief that they get these surgeries and, it's going to force them into everything in moderation. And that's true. And maybe for some people that works, but I'm just taking a personal extra step in, trying to keep carbs and processed foods out of my life as much as possible. So that's where I'm at. So going back over the numbers again here, 61 pounds I lost prior to surgery, which gives me a total so far in the past 3 months of 47 pounds. So that's pretty good, huh? So down almost 50 pounds in 3 months, which averages out to about 15 pounds or so a month, or my 3 pounds weekly, which is right on target for what I'm at. So I'm really happy. I just happened to look at one of my older videos, and I just, and also one of my family members sent me a picture on my cell phone the other day from me back in January that was taken on my birthday, because my birthday happens to be in January. Yes, I'm a Capricorn. And I can't even believe the difference, and more importantly, I feel the difference. I'm at a point in my life now where just I feel so much better. It doesn't bother me to get out of bed in the morning, whereas before, when I was, you know, nearing the 500-pound mark, because I was more on the half towards 500 than I was not. So, I just think of all the struggles that I had and just how much easier everything is now that the weight is off. Talk about a weight being off your shoulders. Well, this was a weight that's been lifted from my whole body, obviously. And I still got a ways to go. I mean, let's face it, I'm still obese, very much so. Sitting here at 6'1", 350 pounds, still makes me an obese man. So, I still got some work to do. And, I'm not aiming for skinny. I don't want to be a stick figure. I just want to stay healthy. And I'm not looking for skinny weight. I'm looking for a healthy weight. So my goal that I had in my mind from the beginning, and to be honest with you, my bariatric team, my doctor, none of them have really given me a goal weight that I should be striving for. So this is all me. So I figure at my height and with my frame, I would like to see myself, and once I get there, I can reevaluate at that time. But my current goal is to get down to about 270 pounds. I think if I could be somewhere in the 270-pound range, I would be very, very happy. I don't think I've weighed 270 pounds since high school. I've been big all my life. Always struggled with weight, as active as I was. I mean, when I was a kid and growing up, I mean, I was always outdoors, always doing something. I played soccer for 5 years. I was in the Boy Scouts, did a lot of hiking and marching and, you name it. So, despite my physical activity, I always was the husky kid, the chunky kid, the fat guy. So that's just the way it's been. So I'm not looking to be skinny. I'm looking to be healthy. So I've already conquered my blood pressure, off my medication. My CPAP, I'm getting under control. I'm sleeping better. My pressure is down. I started off at a 14. I'm down to an 11. I'm hoping that as more weight continues to come off, that will eventually become less and less of an issue. And, hopefully eventually I can get off the CPAP machine altogether. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's been a godsend, and I probably wouldn't be here today if I hadn't been diagnosed with the sleep apnea and had some help, because I was just reaching a horrible point in my life where I really felt myself dying, and my body was just so exhausted all the time I couldn't hardly function anymore. So, but that was the me of the past. This is the new me. And let me tell you, I feel amazing. This has just been the best decision of my life. And for anybody who's, not sure whether or not this is an option for them, all I can tell you is that if you've struggled for a long time and you've seriously put effort into losing weight on your own and you've had problems, this will definitely give you a tool that you can utilize. And remember, it's just a tool, but you can utilize this tool to your advantage. And, I have a lot of subscribers and followers and everything else out there in the weight loss community that are losing tons of weight on their own. And I wish that prior to surgery that I had found all these groups, and when I was younger, high school, college days, that I had thought or knew of this support system on YouTube and Facebook and everything else, because honestly, I pretty much felt alone and felt like I didn't really have support to lose weight. And, looking back to when I think about it, my parents were never overly cautious about what we ate. They pretty much let us control ourselves. And, I think that when I was younger, I was making some unhealthy choices, you know, um, not that I'm trying to blame anybody. I'm just saying that was just the fact of life. So my point is, I'm just really proud of everybody. This is a great community that we have here, and I am just thrilled to be a part of it and so inspired by those of you who haven't opted to get the surgery and are still losing all this weight and staying motivated and staying physically fit and everything else. I mean, you guys are awesome and you really are an inspiration to me. Um, because you don't have the added tool. Now, mind you, some of you that are doing the weight loss on your own and stuff weren't nearly as heavy and maybe not as long and so forth. Everybody's story is different, but still, I just want to say, whether you're surgical or not doesn't mean that I'm not going to be a fan of yours or admire what you're doing or be supportive, because, ultimately we're all in this for one reason, and that's to get healthy, to get in shape, to lose some weight. And, whether you have a surgery tool or not doesn't really matter. So we're all in this struggle. We all know, the demon that is food, um, and so it's just great to be a part of this community. So I don't want to keep rambling on and on, but basically, I will just tell you real quick too, to recap. To recap. Um, to let you know that for those of you who have been following me a while, know that since I've had my surgery, I've been desperately trying to find another full-time job. I kind of fit this surgery in between jobs because I got laid off back in February from my job. And anyways, bottom line, yesterday I got the good news. I got the job offer from the company that I was hoping to be able to sign with, and I have a full-time job again. So that's exciting. It's a stress off my mind, which is good, and it's gonna be interesting. Now my focus is gonna be on maintaining my healthy lifestyle, around work. I haven't had to do that yet, so this is going to be a new area for me to focus on. So incorporating my new healthy choices, my increased physical activity and exercise around my new job. And I'll just tell you real quick, I'm a software tester. I've been in the IT industry now for about 10 years, and this job is with a software company that specializes in behavioral healthcare software, and I am going to be the newest member of their QA team. So I will be doing software testing, or quality assurance for those of you who are familiar with the terms. And it's going to be, after training, primarily a work from home type of a job. Most of their tech team works remotely, and I'll only be required to go into the office maybe once or twice a week, which is good because, as it turns out, their office is an hour commute for me, which I wasn't too thrilled about. But, the fact that it turns out that this job can be done remotely, works out. So now it's going to be interesting to see how everything can line up and fall into place. I'm lucky because I have some flexibility here, and, it just helps me to be able to try and fit I think it's going to be easier anyways to try and fit my exercise and everything, because I want to be able to try and stay with my jazzercise classes, and I love the class that I go to and the instructor and everything, and I'm hoping that I can stay at the same time, but they have some alternative times and instructors, so I can pick up other classes and keep going with another instructor, but we'll see. But anyways, I just wanted to fill you in on that and let you know. So that was good news for me. And yeah, so we'll go from there. So my focus is slow and steady wins the race. Try and keep up with my physical activity and exercise, and we'll just go from there. So I hope everybody else out there is doing good. Anybody who has upcoming surgeries, I wish you the best of luck, a speedy recovery, and as always, I will talk to you again next week. Take care, everybody. Bye.